Greetings on this wonderful, bright and sunny day. Lovely blue skies and sunshine on 25th of December. So I thought I would share my experience of this 3-day water fast and meditation. Just to recap, the criteria was no social media, no external sources, and nothing but water. And lots of meditation. Not my idea initially, but I thought it's a year since I've done a fast and a perfect time, as much as anything else, to escape the external madness. And what a wonderful experience it was. I should know better really, to not go into anything with expectations, but I did. I thought about how it was going to go and anything but I thought we'll run with this, we'll persevere. Just as a reminder, this is all meditation is something you've already done when you had that thought that you wanted to learn to walk as a very small child, to the point where you just put one leg in front of the other and it becomes second nature. That is all meditation. And what repentance is, it's reinventing yourself, rewiring your mind, changing the way you view things, which changes your internal workings. So this first day I went into the meditation, and every time I did, I got crystal clear memories, like the event was happening again, of even the most insignificant conversations that I may have had with someone years ago. And we're talking right down to a car that nearly hit me at the age of 7 when I did, as I was told, I looked left, I looked right, I looked left again before crossing the road. What I didn't realise was it was a one-way street, and I remember this Ford Anglia van. We're talking 1972, so I would have been about 6 years old. And there's PC Plod standing the other side of the road, motionless. As I crossed the road, the first I knew about it was the screech of the tyres as this van suddenly ground to a halt, stopping inches from me. It's quite close. And he just said, "You know, you should look both ways." I said, "But I thought it was a two-way street," was my answer to that. But he didn't seem particularly concerned, wasn't particularly bothered. He certainly didn't come running over. That was in the good old days, as they call it, of police constables as opposed to police officers. A very different beast entirely today. So this first day was all about this, a process that I think many of you will have done. If you've got a Facebook account, for example, and you've reached near the limit of the 5,000 friends, you may periodically go through that friends list and have a cull and think, I don't speak to them. And that's basically, I think, what was going on in the mind. It's going back over the entire 50 plus years, and you could see it as like going into the attic and pulling out all the things you've got, and it's right, that lot we're put into a box and we're put in the discard pile, that we're put in the cherished memories pile, and so on and so on. So the first day, well, it's almost, you could say, this 3-day meditation has been like the Dickens story of the three ghosts of Christmas, past, present and future, because that's exactly the way it went. So the 23rd was more in the present. Now, that was a particularly amazing day in the meditation. I saw in my mind what is called a TR3B. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's supposed to be a highly secret triangular US Air Force plane that looks basically like this. And that's exactly how I saw it. And behind that was this, what started off like an eye, an eyeball, and with this in front. And the way I interpreted that was, this thing is artificial and this is real. This is man-made, and it's pointing down and to the left, which is telling me that I need to be going up and to the right. That then went, and I then had this in front of the eye, which is basically the constellation of Leo in front of the eye. I can't help but see almost like the rising of the lion, the conjunction where Jupiter is in front of Saturn, so it looks like Jupiter is wearing the crown of Saturn. It can be interpreted as the wisdom passed from the father to the son, to the heir. Because it's funny as well, we're talking about, as Levet channel would call this, the eternal battle between fire and ice, and what we're actually invoking is air, with the age of Aquarius, and earth, which is Capricorn. We're bringing the other two elements, which is, if you see the fire and the ice as two of the, say, the east and west on the horizontal line, so you've got the air and the earth. So you're splitting the curtain, removing the veil, as it were, in that sense. So yeah, and this eyeball started off looking like a normal eyeball, and then almost like resembled something more like a fir tree, which I thought was very interesting. Make of this what you will. And the other amazing thing I witnessed was, actually came out for just to sit in sunlight really, and I looked and I saw the most amazing effect of the sun was actually changing colour. Not in total, it was almost like, if you've ever seen the telephoto lens images from like a Nikon P1000 of these wandering stars up close, how they look like the fronts of a torch, and it's like that flickering sort of dancing colours behind what looks like a lens. So there was magentas and greens and blues. Magenta I would take to be representing the corona, your crown, your seventh chakra. The blues and the greens is saying to me divine feminine communication with the blue, and green obviously being heart. So it's very upper, spiritually focused, I would say, from those colours. And the final day, which I actually cut short because I feel renewed. I had all sorts of strange, what felt like aches and pains where I twisted my ankle back in, was it July? And I do feel renewed, and hey, I'm back. There are other videos, but what a wonderful experience those 3 days were. I would seriously, if you have the opportunity to do it, to actually do this, it will feel like hell. There is a point where it does, and you also can feel extremely hungry if you're not used to doing this. But I even allowed that to come into the meditation, and it's what would I really like to have as a first meal when I come out of the meditation. So I opted for mushroom soup and egg mayonnaise and salad sandwiches, and that really hit the spot. That was, after 3 days, it's like, oh, this is just what the body wanted. It's sort of almost, you could say, like a reward. It's allowed the intestines to reset. That's the whole point of doing a 3-day. You're resting the physical body and allowing the internal processes to, and I do feel calm. I do feel a lot happier for it, and it's been a nice little sort of internal mini holiday. So if you do get the chance, then I thoroughly recommend it. I have plans for at least another 2 videos, but they are really sort of unrelated. Well, they're not unrelated, but I will keep them as separate subjects rather than sort of meander into other things. So I will hold those off for 2 other videos. One of them concerns Tataria, so it's looking into the past, but it's just something that came as a download today, and it's like, yeah, it was something I've puzzled over before, and it's like, without even thinking about it, the answer has come to that. So we'll conclude that one there. I shall just end in wishing you all a wonderful time. Those of you that haven't or not aware of it, I recommend the Vet channel. Her latest video, I will put the link in the description. She is saying about from January the 6th to February the 24th, which is a 6-week period, you've got Mars is in Aries, so that's fire in fire. That's very unstable. All the other main players are in Capricorn, which is to do with governments. The one stable one that is outside of this is Neptune, and Neptune is most associated with imagination. Now, what is imagination? That is the creator. Imagination is the thing with no limit to it except that which you impose yourself. This is the thing that so many of these New Thought writers have spoken about and talked about, and things I've mentioned in previous videos, that imaginal acts create into solid reality, following that same pattern of thought to blueprint to finished building. And I was listening actually this morning to a wonderful extract from Mulford Prentice on the Brian Scott channel. I'll put the link in for this. It's only about 30 minutes long, and it talks exactly in the same way that Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about, and it is very much to do with the whole idea with this meditation and with how you change reality, in that you don't think with a focus in the past and bring all the trauma and the drama into the present. You actually remember the future, and you're looking forward to where you want to be and what you want to be, and you're creating that, or you start the process with your mind by looking forward rather than looking retrospectively. Funny, that's also a word used to describe astrological movements of planets is retrospect. And something we need to do is be retrospective and go through the process, a bit like the day one of the meditation, the sorting out the attic, sorting out the heavens, getting things in order, creating a new world order within oneself, you could say. So just a few thoughts there. Once again, if you've never done a water fast, you've never thought about doing meditations, there's never a better time than now to actually give the idea some thought and then put it into practice. And you have everything to gain from it. It costs you nothing except a bit of time and a bit of determined effort and lots of practice. But the rewards are so worthwhile. The magical feelings that you can bring, and the whole purpose of doing so much meditation is so you can walk through worlds, so you can go out there into the madness, but in your mind you are creating your own reality, and you are changing the external reality around you, which now would be a very good time to actually do that. Project out the world that you want to see out there, rather than the external world that is being thrust upon you from every direction. remember, it's not just television. Everything that is external to you is a screen, and it is all things being presented to you to get you to act or react. Remember, the world is a stage, and we all act through actions. It's when those actions don't match the words and thoughts is when what we have to observe for. And that is another very consistent message that is coming across in so much that I've thought about, that I've listened to, that I've contemplated. It's about going within, it's about reflecting on things and changing the reality from what you create inside your own imagination. And to reiterate once again, look at the picture in the Sistine Chapel, the famous, the hand of God reaching out to man. God is basically sitting in the pineal gland. As Neville Goddard said, the Creator is your own wonderful human imagination. This is why, as children, those imaginary friends that you're making up, which are, yes, they are all in your mind. It is something you create within yourself, and to the adults that have had the system taken that imagination away will tell you it's unreal, because to them it is unreal. They've been through that process, but it's all about breaking that cycle with the past, particularly now more than ever as we move from water into air, into this age of Aquarius. Things are going to be a bit of a rough ride externally, but they don't have to be internally, and from that you'll change the exterior reality that will suit you better. This is why we are co-creators, the ability to create. We can co-create, we can procreate, but we can create the world around us collectively. And the system will do all it can to tell you that it's not real, it's fantasy, but the reality and the proof in the performance is this is very, very real. The waveform is 99.9% of the atom. So why are we focusing on the minuscule particle, as I've said before? Anyway, this has gone on longer than I'd actually anticipated, but I thought I'd just give you the experience of the meditation and share a few thoughts. And I wish you all a wonderful time and enjoy the moment. You are a presence in the present, and now is the best time to present yourself as a gift. Ta-ta for now.